That means we're gonna go live right now.
There we
Hey!
go.
Hey everybody, hey! Hey, it's Babetalk. Hey.
What's up?
Everyone
Hello.
listen up.
Hi.
Listen up, shut up. Alright. So tonight we actually don't have a special guest. We're actually gonna be talking amongst ourselves. We have I believe a awesome subject to talk about tonight.
Our special guest is us.
Our special guest is us. We all are special guests.
That's what Tumblr told me.
That's what Tumblr had told me.
Always listen to Tumblr.
Tonight
Yeah.
we have Lincoln.
What's up, guys?
We have Cora. We got Ashnik.
Hello.
And we got Lincoln. And Eric.
I get introduced twice. Nice.
I had a
Me
whole
and Eric
thing
are the same
prepared.
person.
Lincoln just
Okay.
overtook Eric.
And I said it like so confidently too. Like,
Game
yeah,
of
Lincoln.
babes.
And Lincoln. I am hot. I'm going to take this off. And as I'm going to take this off,
Woo!
we're going to
Gonna get
start
hotter.
off it's going to get way hotter in here. So anyway, we're going to just do some last minute adjustments. And while I do that, we're going to
MySpace
Do
camera
some
angle.
too. Do some too. Ugh.
Get
Adjustments.
going.
Ugh.
Everyone flex. Start flexing. This is embarrassing.
I'm not
I
even
know.
flexing.
I saw my
I'm not even
reflection. I was
flexing.
like, it's no good.
That's it. Okay, so anyway, let's start the show. We start off every show by asking, how's everyone's day? And tonight we will start with Cora.
I stayed in my room for pretty much the entirety of it. I woke up, I took a shower. I had a really bad day.
Oh,
It's okay. I've been looking into moving out and doing cool stuff, which I'll explain later if anybody wants me to. But anyway, yeah.
was the room
It's-
nice?
it's fine
Is-
now.
Is it comfy in your room?
MTV, welcome to my crib.
Got a lot of trophies in
There
there.
we go.
I have a lot of what?
Trophies in there. What
Yeah,
are you
I'm
winning?
special.
Yeah.
Baseball.
You won baseball?
Yeah.
All of baseball.
All of it.
Just
The entire
fire
sport.
sport.
Yeah.
It's not modern baseball anymore, it's Cora baseball, everybody.
Oh, I like the name change.
I love modern baseball.
Brandon's
Ah.
not going to be
Who
stoked.
doesn't?
So excited for that tour.
I'm friends with
all.
them.
Just
It's
rub
so
it in.
cool.
Rub it in.
It's so cool. They recognize me.
They recognize me. Oh,
They're like, oh my god. The last time I saw them, Jake was like, oh my god, thanks for coming to every show we ever do.
like ever.
And I was like, yeah, no problem. I love you.
That's too
Nice.
funny. Lincoln, how was your day?
Right. It was a day. I ended up ripping out
It
the
was a
side of my
day.
Vans. Like, I've had my shoes for like 5 months and like blew a giant hole in the side of my Vans just walking today. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna go buy shoes, and I was super stoked because I walked in. They're like, guess what? Today all shoes are like buy one get one free. So I was like, yes, I get two pairs of
Aw,
shoes
there you
now.
go.
So I was
Very
super
nice.
stoked on life, and ordered some more cassette duplication stuff because I realized I didn't order enough Norelco cases. So I had to go back and make another order. But yeah, it's a pretty swell day.
That's awesome. Now,
Yeah.
you are going to start to do tapes for other bands. Is that right?
Yeah, tapes for other bands, and I'm gonna start doing tapes under a sub-label for my California street music stuff I already do. It's gonna be Fair Right Records, and we already have 2 releases in the works, so you guys will probably see or hear of that sometime soon. But yeah, I'm just doing full-on manufacturing, full professional stereo duplication, packaging, labeling, pack that fun stuff for other people and for myself. So.
Well, in the words of like every other black guy, shit, nigga, look at you go.
I thought you were going to tell him he was making moves.
That would have been appropriate as well.
Very true. Eric,
Oh,
how was
man.
your day?
Pretty good. It's always, my Tuesdays are always long work days, but I get, like I always do, I'll tell you about a different day. Yesterday, after
Wait,
work.
I'm very sorry. I have to interrupt you for a second. We have a small little cocoon butterfly that's just like tucking in for the night.
I'm comfortable.
Like, are you Cora? Are you comfy, girl?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad to hear. I'm very glad. I'll come over there. I'll tuck you in soon.
This will be your bedtime story.
This will be your bedtime.
Yes.
Anyway, so
Amazing.
Eric, you can go on. I'm very
No,
sorry.
yesterday went into the studio, tracked some hot beats, and did a bunch of
Beat.
we did a bunch of acoustic covers for part of my band's Kickstarter awards, and One of them was a Childish Gambino song, acoustic, which was nice.
What
Nice.
was that?
Are you allowed
I'm
to say?
I'm gonna keep everything a surprise, but we're gonna post them like publicly on YouTube as we put them up. But we did like 4 of them. We have like 4 or 5 more to go. But that one was a lot of fun.
Oh
That's
man, so this
really awesome.
means like go subscribe to Heavyweights on YouTube because there's gonna be some sick covers going
Oh
down.
yeah.
Absolutely. Nicole, what was you doing?
I had an okay day. I mean, my Tuesdays are kind of long as well, but what did I do? Oh, we talked in one of my music classes. I'm in a class called Music in the Mind, and it's kind of this really interesting cross between music history, sort of music theory, I guess, and psychology, and just all this really cool stuff. And we started talking about metal today, and I was like, and I was like, oh my god, like this is more of my realm because we're talking about like Mozart, and then we kind of like just talked about like strange like tribal music for a long time, and then my professor was like, we're gonna listen to Iron Maiden to start off the day, and I'm like, okay, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then I got some terrible coffee, which was really upsetting, but then it was an okay day, and I had someone working. I'm putting out a compilation really soon that I'm so excited. It's gonna go out next Thursday, and I'm having one of my classmates help me with the graphics. So I met with him, and he's just really excited about it, and I'm really excited about it, and I'm just it's a good way to end my day.
That sounds fantastic. Now, what's the compilation going to be a part of? Can you give details as to what's dropping?
Well, it's obviously gonna be run through Property of Zach because like I'm not cool enough to do it on my own. But I've been grinding on this since July, like super intense work, so many emails, and just so many people, like especially when you email a band's whatever email they list on their Facebook page, I'd say 60% of the time it's you get a reply, but it's the person saying, oh, like, let me CC you with, like, somebody else. So it's just this never-ending loop of emails. But I'm so excited. Like, I can't contain myself.
It sounds like it's going to be a kick-ass
I
day.
know. I can't give away too much, but next Thursday, like, the Thursday after this one, so October 9th, is when everything drops, and I'm just, can't wait.
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be fun shit. Oh wait, hold on, I accidentally clicked. Okay, yeah, there we go. Okay, now we're all on the same page. So, Eric, you were talking about your heavyweight stuff. Are you guys doing like a lot of things to like give initiative for like pre-sales and stuff?
Well, what we did was we did a Kickstarter like months ago, and we ended up raising like I think it was like $2,300 or whatever it was. Which was really cool. It was we've done a full length and 2 EPs before this, and we just gave everything out for free. And we're really, I mean, all bands on my band's level are pretty small, but on like a national level, we're especially small. But in our state, we do really, really, really well. And so it was nice that all those people who we've been giving free music for the last 2 years, they all put in for this Kickstarter. And we ended up, we tried to do it so that we covered exactly half the cost of making the record and then the cost of the reward. So like for $25 we gave a shirt and a CD, which usually that's what it costs at a show. But so we tried to sell everything as cheap as possible. And we ended up, I think, with the donors, it was over, I want to say like 63 pre-sale, like physical copies sold, about like 40 or 50 shirts through that. And then all the other incentives, like some people bought shows that we're going to play for them. A lot of people bought acoustic covers.
Sweet.
Yeah, and we also hooked up with, we got contacted by the guy who does PR for Count to Four and used to do Battle Ghost when they were still a band. So that was a big help. And then we've just been doing a lot of shows and a lot of push for the record. But it's more fun just making music, in my opinion, than like touring, because I've done both for a long time. And I'm just so happy that this Kickstarter let us make videos, make all these covers, do all this stuff, in addition to making the record. So, yeah, it's a lot of fun.
That's really awesome. Because I was just thinking recently about other incentives to go along with either pre-sales or with concerts. I didn't know they have a quote-unquote VIP. They're not really calling it VIP. But if you were to, I think it's like, what, an extra like $10 per ticket? You get a poster. you get a early in, and you also get an acoustic performance before the set.
Yeah.
I think that's brilliant.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And it's for like another like $10. And like I know before, like people have always poo-pooed the idea of giving away like VIP shit, like meet and greets, and with what was it, like Bring Me to the Horizon?
It was
No, dude.
Sleeping with Sirens.
Sleeping
Yeah,
with Sirens. Thank you.
$80.
Yeah.
One of our perks, one of our rewards was the Kellen Quinn Polaroid package. So for $80, we gave you a bunch of stuff, and then it was like posters and Polaroids of us, and we'll Photoshop you into it. No. And 3 people didn't get the joke and bought that reward. So we're like, we'll just give you the $100 reward. You can have extra stuff. That was a joke. We're not going to actually do that.
That's too good.
Oh my
Now,
God.
was there anything
That's so
that
funny.
have you guys ever sprung out for that and like gotten like a pretty sweet deal out of it? Or
About
have you guys
VIP
also like
tickets to what?
just like anything with the realm? Have you guys ever done anything like that collectively, like Ashley, or have you guys bought any exclusive shit and you guys like?
I mean, I don't think I've ever sprung for VIP tickets. Okay, maybe I have. I did for Bamboozled 2012, like the last Bamboozle before it became Skate and Surf. I think that was 2012. Because Skate and
Yeah,
Surf
it was. It was. I was there.
Cool. So was I, obviously, because I'm talking about tickets to it. I
Oh man.
No worries, I got you.
bought the 3-day pass. Stop it, Ollie. Just chill, dude. Chill. I bought the 3-day pass, and it was like it was like GA admission, and you could get like super, super, super VIP. And I got whichever one was in the middle. There was varying degrees of VIP, and I got one, and it was beach lounge. I don't know. It didn't really get you much extra, and I was kind of disappointed. But also that whole event I thought was run so inefficiently. I just, whatever. But for the Modern Baseball Tour, I saw the VIP, and it's like personalized mixtape, acoustic set, and I'm just looking at this,
What?
and yeah.
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 What?
Cool.
And I looked at it, and before I even looked at the prices, I said, I think I commented on like Zach Zarilla's actual post about the tour, and I was like, this is the first time I've ever really considered buying a VIP ticket like this for anything ever. I think it's a great idea. I think making it at such a low price point is like the key here, because then, well, you know, but
Because you drive in more money to it.
Yeah.
Kids will see that it's more bang for your buck.
and the venue they're coming to this venue in Connecticut that I used to work at, actually, or intern volunteer at technically, but
Same thing.
they're close enough. Unpaid
You don't get
work.
paid.
I didn't get paid. I drove like 45 minutes to get there for my
Ew.
senior internship. Yeah, it's far, but it's a great tiny little venue, and the people who work there are all just like pretty sweet. But they're coming literally the day that I get home from school for winter break. So I leave, at like 9 in the morning, and then I get home 4 hours later. So I'm just gonna be like taking a nap, taking a shower, going to Modern Baseball. Like that's what's happening.
I feel you, homegirl.
I'm
Kind of in the same thread as like, I totally lost my train of thought, like how to segue
It's
it.
okay. I'm like, wait, I hear a thought there.
That was like a
It's
Tina
little
Belcher
thing.
noise.
Oh my
We're all gonna be
god.
doing
I
our
love
Tina
that
impressions.
All right.
All right. I have the Lincoln Belcher glasses.
Yes, they're just as thick. That's too
Well, they're
good.
also red. Like, I don't know if you can tell, but
Oh
they're
yeah,
red.
you can
Oh,
see
wow,
the
yep.
red.
Yep.
Nice.
My little sister picked these out for me, so
You did a good job.
she did. She's really stylish.
Talking
This
about
stylish
like
little thing.
ticket prices. I know in the last Babe Talks I was on, I mentioned that I'm trying to set up this Christmas show, and the way that I'm planning on doing ticketing is like $10 to $12 to get in. But if you bring a new unwrapped toy, then it's gonna be like anywhere from $2 to $5. Haven't really made up my mind.
No, that's
That's
such a
a
good
fantastic-
idea.
That's actually a
Yeah.
really good idea.
I've
'Cause
seen
I
that done
want-
For the holidays,
before.
that's great.
Because I want lots of people to show up, but I mean, like, as much as I want to make money, I don't want to make too much money because it's a toy drive.
I think
Like-
that's such a good
There you go.
idea.
You're just like sitting in like your rooms like Scrooge afterwards. just like
I mean, like- I mean, like, listen, if this show happens and nobody wants to get toys for whatever reason they have, then I'm just like, well, this was nice. I guess I just have to donate money now.
Well, I mean, is that the? Did you strike a deal with the?
Not yet. I'm looking for like a toy drive thing, like child services or whatnot. But if nobody
you can
donates,
still, you can still like tell them that you're just going to make a donation and
Yeah,
they
yeah,
won't
yeah.
hold you to anything. Because I mean, I doubt they're like the mafia that they're holding a crowbar. It's just like, yo, where are the kids' toys?
yeah, like
they
it's
might,
either
though.
you give us
I just want
stuff.
to see Sandus standing there with a crowbar.
Like, yes,
Cut
that
off
actually I think would be
sleeves on it.
fantastic.
Give us stuff, or we'll hobble you.
Eric called me Don Ashley the other day.
I did. You were
Don
Don
Ashley.
Ashley.
Why was that the case?
She said something very mafia-ish. I was like, oh shit, Don Ashley.
What did I say? I don't remember.
We'd have to scroll 800 messages up to figure
Okay,
out.
we haven't been friends that long. There's not 800 messages in there.
That was a long conversation.
It was a long conversation.
That hurts me. That hurts me deeply.
Okay, let me rephrase. There's
I'm
not
gonna die.
800 messages in there yet.
Ah, there it is.
Friendship.
That make Eric
Speaking of the chat, before we jump into today's subject, I was thinking about what else could I like just ask the group as a whole. Tony was talking about his first date,
Oh my god, that was precious.
Oh,
and it
yeah.
was Tony in our little
Tony
pre-chat
Peppers.
was talking about how he
Tiny
went to-
Peppers.
Tiny Peppers had went to go see Recess Schools Out with one of his
The movie.
the movie. Oh yeah, Recess
was
the
better
movie
as a book.
Schools Out.
Oh, is that what that conversation was about? I just
Yeah.
saw like,
Yeah.
oh, I love Spinelli because her name was Ashley, and I was like,
Her
we're
name
talking
was
about
secretly
recess.
Ashley,
Okay.
which just made my entire life. I don't know, that was really exciting for me. Anyway, go ahead, Ollie.
She probably pits really hard.
She
Absolutely.
probably,
She probably
does.
I mean, come on, look at her boots. You can tell how hard a person hits by their boots.
Spinelli is the aesthetic goal. That's it. That's what it is.
For real. So, I wanted to ask the group, what was all of your guys' first dates? Like, what happened with these?
Oh, no.
Don't
Let's
everybody
start
jump at
with-
once.
We're gonna start with Eric, the one that kind of had.
The song "First Date" by Blink-182 had just come out.
All right, I'm putting you on mute. I fucking. Go on. Sorry.
No, what it had, and I was like, "Oh shit, is that what it's gonna be like?"
I think we all wanted our first date to be like the song First Date.
Yeah, pretty much. I want it to be like the. I want it, aesthetically speaking, I want it to be like the music video, but 10 years too late.
Why
or
you
20
wanted
years.
him to have like a mustache like that?
Yes,
or-
I did. Yes, I did want him to have a mustache.
Okay.
That's
No,
We all have our likes and
so-
dislikes.
So, I was terrified of girls until I was like 15. And so this girl had to like ask me out, and I said, let me think about it. And then I came back to school the next day, and she goes, so did you make up your mind? And I was like, I didn't think I'd have to have, I thought I'd have like a month.
Oh
Like,
God!
Eric like
revisit this in the
instantly
summer.
dismissed the thought.
So a couple of my friends like convinced, like, you have to, come on, it's a good girl, you gotta go on a date with her. So we went like with a group to the mall, and cause duh,
Yes,
and
yes.
went to many CD stores, and she wore her Anti-Flag shirt, even though she hadn't listened to punk rock in years because she knew I was into punk rock. And
Nice.
and then we went back to her house with like a bunch of other people, and we all hung out, and it was cool. And I didn't kiss her that night. That would happen later. But no, it was a good night. And when I look back, it's actually really sweet because she knew a lot about me, and I didn't really know much about her because she knew a couple people who were my friends, and she dressed in a way that would make me, like a punk rock kid, be like into her. She went to places she knew I liked, and like. Which was really, really sweet now that I think about it. Like, she made my first date very, very easily.
That's so
Aw.
And she
cute.
That
cheated on me,
sounds
that
cute.
bitch.
Oh, no, I was going to say, I really hope that's Nikki, but never mind.
As Eric goes for the drink, Eric, it's okay, man. It's alright. I'm
You
giving
know
you
what?
a back rub through
You know
the
what?
computer.
You know what? I think I'm over it today. I'm officially over it.
Finally, Kate came to that moment and be like, you know what? I think I'm better off without her.
Yeah, got a baby on the
Wicked.
way.
How was
I've
your
been
first?
saying I got a
date?
baby on the way for like, oh my god, it's so fucking awesome.
I am very happy that that's happened. Now, did you guys? I forget how baby working stuff goes. Do you guys? When do you find out the sex of the baby?
Wait, you're gonna be a
You
dad?
asshole! You asshole! Shut up!
I like how I got you to say, you asshole, shut the fuck up, and I didn't say a word. I didn't say a word.
Oh my god.
Oh my god!
We find
Wait.
out we find out at 20 weeks. Yeah, it's correct. Yes, I'm gonna be a dad.
When did we find this out?
I
A couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
I
it's
think
still
Brad
relatively
from Vieira knew before you, Core.
Sweet, thanks. I'm the last to learn about everything.
Maybe your echo wasn't so scary.
You know, I just realized that started happening again.
It's not as bad as the Vieira one.
Oh, that was bad. The
At
screech.
least all of us are talking via microphone, not a phone.
True.
Yeah.
I will say you guys had made it work. I mean, that
MacGyver
was
the
the most
shit out
ghetto
of it.
rigged I've ever seen, and it was the smoothest execution.
Operative term.
I mean, I've given you guys hand claps before, but here's a third and fourth and
Aw,
sixth.
thank you.
I think the best thing I ever ghetto rigged was, did you guys ever have those baby projects you had to take care of a plastic baby for a day?
No, I wish
I
not.
never
No, I
had
am
that.
thoroughly
Yes,
unprepared.
yes,
well,
I have, and I have a funny
okay.
story to go along with that.
Okay,
Oh,
well,
geez.
Ollie, I was given the blackest baby ever out of the bunch. Out of the bunch.
How
It was-
old is Wesley Snipes?
Well,
He's
I had-
still the parameter, right? am I
but
wrong?
how were you given the blackest baby?
There was like 6 babies, and I got the darkest.
And what were they like Crayola? Like was it like per shade?
You know when it's like so dark that it's almost blue?
What kind of babies were these? See, I was
you
given like a
joking?
sugar baby. I mean, I was,
No, these were plastic babies.
did they give you like coal and put ice to it? What did they do? Like I'm trying to figure out what they gave you to actually have it be the blackest baby. Was the baby wrapped in like DMX lyrics? Like what constituted this baby to be the blackest one out of all of them?
I need a
The baby was working out the trap out of its fucking crib.
Oh my god, I need
Stop.
to get a blanket with DMX
Stop.
lyrics and wrap my baby around it as it comes out.
Yeah, open up shop.
I'll have to bring my dog to the hospital, just arf, arf.
Rough Riders.
That's gonna be our
man.
baby present to
But
you, Eric.
but okay, that wasn't even like my story. It gets
We're
better.
just
Talking
hitting the
about dates?
iceberg. We're just
Yeah,
hitting.
so,
We went from dates to sugar babies. This is good.
Oh no,
Cora,
my
finish
baby,
the story and then we'll
my
jump to
baby
this.
was made of plastic and it had speakers and it cried. It was great. It was
Jesus.
it was a living
Terrifying.
hell for 25. Actually, it was really easy. I got a C on it, but anyway.
Didn't sound
So- Here's here's what happened.
I passed parenting 101. I got a C. Good enough.
It was really
It was
easy. I gotta say.
adequate. C means adequate.
It means
C's get
adequate.
degrees.
C's.
C means there's no physical bruises, just emotional ones.
Oh my
Oh,
fuck. Oh
Lord.
Jesus.
I learned this from my mom. Happy 25th birthday, Mom.
A report card for now on.
Oh,
Jesus.
man.
For
So,
Mother's
okay,
Day,
so-
we're just going to start giving report
So we
cards.
had the bottle. We had these bracelets that they gave us, and you had to scan the I worked at ShopRite at the time, so I was like a scanning pro. Boop boop boop. So you had to have the scanner touch like a part of the baby's back to be like, oh look, your parents here. Stop crying now. Shut the fuck up.
The
So
off switch.
I duct taped the baby bottle, which had a transponder in the tip that went along with the transponder in its mouth,
Just
and
the
I
tip.
yep, just the tip.
Shut up, Eric. Shut
Oh,
up.
God.
We're
God
talking about
damn,
babies right
Eric.
now, okay?
Jesus Christ. Eric, you got a D.
A D.
Sounds like the baby got the D.
Cora got the C.
So I duct taped
You know.
I duct taped the bottle to the baby's hand, and attached it to its face. So that way, if it was hungry, all I had to do was scan it, and it would be set, and I wouldn't have to pay attention to it.
Oh man.
Also,
that was
you got
awesome.
points off if it wasn't like dressed, and naturally I kept the thing butt naked because you had to. There were 2 diapers that had like one transponder on the other, and periodically it would just shit itself, and you'd be like, "Well, great, I can't take you anywhere, can I?"
As if it's not a typical thing for children to like shit themselves.
Yeah, what gives, man?
Oh my god.
So I kept like the diaper that it was wearing would be like on its head with the transponder facing out, and I would have like the one that it wasn't wearing right like next to it, so that way I could just go boop boop. And at night to prevent it from waking me up, I covered it in all my dirty laundry and like blankets and shit.
I think I might. No, no.
Oh man.
See, those babies, I think it's a little bit easier to get away with, because I remember for my like home ec, I guess it is. I forget what course it was, but I was in middle school when we did this one.
What?
We had sugar babies. It was very odd because
Wait.
I'm remembering the story. I haven't thought of the story in years.
Whatever you're into, Ollie. I mean, pay for me.
I mean,
That's a sugar daddy.
sugar
Yeah.
daddy. I was a sugar,
Ollie's a
I was
sugar
a sugar
daddy.
daddy at 10 years old. And like all the rest of
Okay.
the kids in my class were like 10 or so, like we were kids. We had the
With
sugar
kids.
inside the doll, but it was like thin fat fabric in the head of the child. We really didn't have to do anything but care. Like we didn't have to feed it because there wasn't any sensors in it. There weren't anything. We just had to make sure that the sugar wasn't. No, it was flour. That the flour wasn't damaged
Leaking.
at all. So like there were no rips in the damage. I mean, in the flour, there wasn't like flour coming out. It wasn't dinged. It wasn't knocked. Like we couldn't neglect the baby. And I remember there was this one girl. Her name was Phyllis, and she was a fucking mess all the time.
Phyllis.
God damn it, Phyllis.
God damn it, Phyllis. To describe Phyllis, she
Phyllis, you
had plugged
ignorant
in.
slut.
She had unplugged a television once with like all these frayed wires, and she got shocked, and like all her hair just like went up, and like walked over to the teacher and was like, and just imagine this girl with like all the hair up and everything. She's just a fucking mess all over the place. And so, as we're
Bride
turning
of
in these
Frankenstein.
babies, she comes into school as if she was like done a coke binge and was just like frazzled and walks into class and she's like, I can't do this anymore. I need to turn into this baby. And like the baby's head was like turned like all different types of directions like than it ever. And we're wondering, what the fuck did you do? It's flour. And she said that I needed to make sure that the flour was still okay. So I went to go take it out of the back of the baby, but the back of the baby wasn't exposed or something was wrong with it. So she tried to take it out via the top, and then the head came off. And then she went to go look inside, and she put a hole in the bag of flour. And she went to go show the teacher. Proceeded to take the head off the baby. Somehow the entire thing just flies open, and there's flour and decapitated baby. And it went like all in one motion. So just imagine a whole thing of flour just exploding out of now this dead baby, and then she's holding the head like.
I get a C, right?
I gotta see.
Do I pass?
Do I pass? Yes, that was the final words from this girl. Do I pass? It was just hysterical. There was just flour everywhere, and the teacher was like, and we were all just like. Phyllis.
Well, Phyllis, you fucked up something that I thought wasn't possible.
Literally. It was hysterical. It was just.
Oh,
it was a mess.
man.
I'm
But
like
anyway.
actually at a loss for words. Like, what the actual?
Yeah.
Lost for words.
I spit out my lemonade.
It was so silent. And like the only thing you see is just like, look. And then this like cloud of flour, and we're all just like, Phyllis.
Amazing.
Get your shit together. So
damn it,
that
Phyllis.
was that. I had more questions, but we're at 9:30. We're halfway done.
Oh God.
Which we typically would start asking our featured guests some questions about them. But today we're actually going to ask the panel a question that I kind of wanted to delve into separately, but as I started to think about it more, it evolved into a bigger picture. we all know the bullshit that's been going on with Joyce Manor. They all meh, and everyone's like meh,
And then the one guy was like that, and yeah.
which according to property of Zach, Ashley Nicole, you can confirm, was that rumor?
Well, I mean, I didn't make the post, so I can't confirm. But also, who the fuck was it?
Somebody was bragging about it on Twitter.
No,
well, that's the whole situation, and we weren't gonna talk about that particular.
Well, the guy, what's his name? Tyler. He's on Twitter? It's like Ty Zazal. Is it Tyler? Is that his real name? I'm so uninformed. Forgive me. Forgive me, Pop Punk Gods. But the guy from State Champs tweeted, and he said, I took a screen cap of it. It's like on my Tumblr somewhere.
Oh, sorry. Go on.
But he tweeted like, I can't believe it shouldn't have come to this. I can't believe someone got punched in the face over this bullshit. I don't know, but I tweeted back and I was like, what? And he sent me like a screen cap of a Facebook status, and it was like alluding that somebody had punched the guy from Joyce Manor in the face.
That's
and I'm
straight edge patriotic piece of shit.
Right? But there was no like actual evidence, like no one else was really talking about it, and I like tweeted back at him. I was like, anything else you could tell me? But then I was like, okay, I'm not like gonna be invasive about this.
Every other part of every concert was filmed. Why wasn't that?
Right? So I've heard that it's a rumor, and some people in like Defend Pop Punk are saying, oh, it totally happened, and then I was there and it happened, and then other people are saying I was there and it didn't happen. And it's just like an up in the air thing. It may or may not have happened.
So
regardless of it actually happening or not, this whole incident all in itself, the whole.
Can you just recap it in like 30 seconds, Ollie? Just like
in 30 seconds. Okay, Joyce Manor. There's a guy that stage dived during Joyce Manor. Joyce Manor had stopped the show, said, "Hey, nigga, stop," and he was like, and then went back into the stage. I mean, into the crowd.
When did Michael Richards join Joyce Manor?
Well, the thing is, he said to the guy, he's like, how tall are you? And he said, how much do you weigh, if you don't mind me asking? And then he turns to a girl standing in the front, and he goes, how tall are you? And how much do you weigh? Oh, wait, that was so rude of me to ask. And it's like, it was rude the first time you asked, dude. Like, what the fuck?
Exactly, yes.
And then he's like, can you just not stage dive again? And you're just, like, you're going to crush her, like, which...
Yeah.
Go ahead.
We'll go into the details. Let's just do the overall.
Overall story. Go ahead.
So he asked them to stop, and then just to stop crowd surfing and stage diving during their set. The next night, it happened again, and Barry from Joyce Manor proceeded to call the guy a patriotic, patriotic piece of shit. Is that
straight edge
patriotic
That
piece of shit?
was one of them. He ended up calling a kid a piece of shit afterwards, and.
Patriotic was because he was wearing a big flag shirt.
We didn't hear the exchange that happened between Barry and the individual that had stage dive, but he asked that the crowd not do it anymore, and then he proceeded to call him a piece of shit. And then rumored at the next show that they had done was whether or not that he was punched in the face, but apparently it happened again.
We would have heard about that, I think.
So
Broken Side Jumps punchline. We hear about it. We see pictures. We would have heard about that.
There would be way more going on. It would be like the scene from This Is It with Jonah Hill and all them. He'd just be like, so something totally chill, like
something not so chill.
Something not so chill happened last night.
Oh man, that's funny.
So I was going to ask what was everyone's opinion about crowd surfing and stage diving, and whether or not leads are going to be able to ask, hey guys, don't do that because we don't want you to. Is it respect there or is it not? But then I caught myself listening to some of Henry Rollins' experience and some of his tour diary from the days that he was touring, the first few days he was touring with Black Flag, and his descriptions of just like the scene that he was in, the police brutality that was going on, and what translated into his lyrics, when he went from venue to venue, it was met with kids fighting them, spitting on them, skinheads coming and wanting to jump them in overseas countries, and I kind of and they were saying that they kind of just like took it, and they really didn't have any merit to kind of say anything about it, and that was just what punk rock was, and it was just accepted. And I kind of compared the early days of Henry Rollins touring with Black Flag and being a part of the band to 2014, Joyce Manor just, playing a club show and them demanding that these kids not do that and then everyone just being totally okay with that. And so I was thinking, like, where did we kind of, in my opinion, grow soft? Like what is the difference between punk then and, as Joyce Manor identifies with, punk rock now?
Well, I think that, Black Flag is like hardcore, and that was the hardcore culture. Which, I mean, back when Black Flag was, like, the punk band, hardcore and punk were pretty much essentially the same thing. They, like, you really didn't have one without the other. But I think now that punk has grown, there's room for people to be, like, more hardcore and less hardcore, and I think it's entirely within their rights to request that people just, like, respect other concert goers. I know in June, I was at one of Modern Baseball shows. It was at Asbury Lanes. And so the show, Sorority Noise played, everybody was going crazy, diving, crowd surfing, was wild. And then the Hotelier played, and a song or three into their set, Christian was like, hey guys, like, listen, I'm playing up here, and I'm playing up here for you guys, and I appreciate how much you guys are into it. I see all of you guys moving around, dancing, crowd surfing, stage diving, and I can't tell you how thrilled I am that you're having this much fun. But at the same time, I also see some of the fans in the front are getting kicked and hit, and they're getting hurt, and they're not happy about it, and I empathize with them too, and when they're not happy, I'm not happy. So I'm asking you guys to just chill out a little bit. I'm not going to stop you, because he said, I'm not going to stop you because, I'm here to play, I'm not here to police the show, but I'm just going to be like, ugh, guy, come on. But he didn't mean, like, calling somebody out. He just meant, like, this kid, just in his head. So
you can call somebody, well, not necessarily call somebody out specifically, but you can definitely do what he did in, I guess, in a way that, like, lets the other person save face. I've been going to punk and ska shows, which since, I guess, 99, 2000, and so this is back when, if you go to a pop punk show, nobody is pitting. Like, nobody's throwing, nobody's push pitting, nobody's, like, even stage diving, really. It was pretty, like, tame at that point. But the punk shows and the ska shows, everyone's stage diving, everybody's push. And I can't remember a single show that I went to where somebody on stage didn't go, awesome, you guys are just having a great time out there. Hey, let's watch our feet. Let's not jump on people. The big thing with crowd surfing and stage diving is that they would be, let's let people know not to jump on them, which is a big thing that I don't see now. Like, I remember going to a Wonder Years show in 2011, and I know that anything in the punk slice of the genre pie, pop, punk, hardcore, whatever, you're going to get, it's typically skews younger. So every generation, you're going to get a whole new group of fans, even if it's for the same band. And so what ends up happening is it's like entire waves of kids have to relearn crowd etiquette because they don't know it. You don't know it going in. And so I remember at that Wonder Years show in 2011, people were crowd surfing, but they weren't letting people know that they wanted to go up. Like in my day, you tap people around you and go, you point up.
Yeah.
Me, point up.
Oh, I've seen people do that. Yeah.
Yeah, they were just jumping on top of other people, or somebody would jump on stage and just jump onto an unsuspecting part in the crowd. Usually, you get up there and you kind of point where you're going to jump. People get ready, and it works out. It's like, and people who don't want to get jumped on can just step to the side. And I don't know, and I didn't see that as much when I saw Greatest Generation tour. I saw more etiquette. It was still a pretty big shit show when it came to like crowd etiquette, but it's getting better. So I feel like he could have done it in a way where he just addressed the crowd and didn't say, hey, this one guy. And if the guy And if that guy did it again after he addressed the crowd as a whole, he could be like, hey, see that guy who's clearly an asshole? Like, it's not me, it's him. Like, I already gave him a chance. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree with that. I'm just like playing off that point of crowd etiquette, which I think is like so important and also just like really cool at the same time. I remember the first couple of shows I went to that were outside the realm of like my first show was at like a teen center that I ended up working with, so it was like a town funded coffee house, like clearly no mosh. And the first couple shows I went to where there was like an actual pit going on, I was like, I'm really scared. This is like, it was just intimidating to me. It was really cool, but really intimidating. And I don't know who it was. Someone I might have stayed friends with. Someone I just maybe observed. But I learned like if you're on the edge of the pit, which is actually like my favorite place to stand because you have space around you, like a personal bubble, but you can see at the same time, but you're not all the way up front. I learned if like people are like throwing down in the middle, it's like hold your fist out. So like if they hit your fist, they know that they're too close to the edge. So learning all that was like really. In 2011 is when I did my first stage dive. I think that was it was fireworks in like fall of 2011. It was like a big moment for me. But I had to like ask people like, how do we do this? Like I sounded really silly, but I was like,
You're right.
do you take like a ladder up there? Like, I don't get it.
My first push pit was like double Dutch. I was like 14. I was like, all right, when do I jump in? When do I jump in? Just
That was, same. Like I've been in a mosh pit, like actually throwing down like maybe once or twice. I don't want to say I'm not good at it because like, is there a good and bad way to mosh?
Yes.
But like, okay, well, I'm not good at it.
It's okay, neither am I. I joke about it all the time, and I'm like, nah, I don't have any sense of rhythm apart from drums.
Went with my best friend in high school, and I went to see Enter Shikari, which was like her favorite band, and it was just I had just seen them like the previous April with A Day to Remember on Tour Sick. And it's like you've never heard it before, but as soon as you get home, you think I need to download everything they've ever written. So we got in the pit and we're like two-stepping and going hard, and I think I stopped because I was tired and I went to like go to the edge of the crowd and go back in and get out of the pit, and some guy was like, you can't just stop, like you can't just do that in the middle, and I'm like, I'm leaving, dude, like
There can only be one Highlander.
But I think the whole etiquette thing is really important, and learning how to do that and learning how to be aware of your surroundings in a way. Like I used to run Fuck Yeah Mosh on Tumblr, and people would ask like, how do I mosh? I'm like, you just go and just make sure you don't accidentally punch anybody in the face. That's pretty much it.
Exactly. I've seen that happen recently. I was at a show at the Glass House in Pomona, California, for Basement when they were doing their tour with Cloakroom and Creative Adult. And I remember the crowd was pretty chill for all the opening bands, and I remember waiting for Basement to come out, and this drunk guy that was probably in his early 30s came up and put his arm around me. He was like, you ready for the pit? You ready to hardcore dance? You ready to do this? And I'm like, nah, I just pulled my knee out like 2 days ago. Like, I'm chilling towards the back. This ain't my thing tonight. He's like, oh, I'm going to throw down tonight. I'm going to go so hard. He's like, none of these kids know how to hardcore dance anymore. And, like, there was room around us, so he started, like, showing his moves. And he's like, this is how it used to be back in the day in, like, '03. That's, like, why don't kids do this anymore?
Oh, shit.
And I was,
Did he have
I
an
don't
open
know.
cup of beer or
Put on a
can?
clinic.
He
Just
had
an
open cup. He had the open cup.
God,
open
that
clear
is the
cup.
worst.
It is. And I
hate
was
that.
like, so the Basement comes out, the entire crowd pushes up. Dude goes in the pit, I'm standing edge of the pit. Dude's like pushing everybody, trying to get everybody started, and everybody's just kind of backing off, and he starts doing his whole hardcore dance, kick his legs out, throw his arms in the air, and knock this girl in the face. And the
shit.
boyfriend beat the literal shit out of him in the middle of the crowd. Like, it was horrible. It was like he was just going like this and just went like that.
That
Nobody said
sucks.
anything. The boyfriend just came up, it was bad. But at the Basement show, you could tell it was a lot of a younger crowd. I hate saying it, but kind of like the Tumblr hype kids type of thing. Kind of the same crowd you'd see at a Real Friends show. But they had no etiquette at all. It went absolutely nuts, and nobody was respecting anybody in stage diving. Nobody was respecting anybody in crowd surfing. It was not that awesome, and I know 2 nights later when Basement played Chicago, Duncan actually said something on stage about like, "Hey, that girl over there just got hurt. Like, you guys need to calm down, stop it, or we're gonna stop." And it's not an uncommon thing for bands to do that. When I heard Joyce Manor say that, I was like, "Oh, cool." I was like, somebody's stepping up against people not respecting their surroundings and being proper with their etiquette. Cool.
Yeah.
And then into something more. But yeah, crowd etiquette's definitely a big thing, and a lot of these kids that are coming out to the shows now, typically the crowd that's under age 18, really needs to kind of watch what they're doing a little bit more. Because the scene did used to be more respectful. Because I remember going to ska and punk shows with my dad, like back in the day, back in like 98, 99, 2003, like up till then. And like you'd see that kind of stuff. There'd be like, oh, be respectful, pick people up. Somebody falls, like pick them up, pat them on the back, push them back in the pit. Like, be cool, help each other out, and all that fun stuff. And it doesn't happen anymore. It's sad. So
Wait,
I
I
can
just so because
see.
you're talking about like not like making sure like you pat everybody on the back and stuff. This is super quick. My friend who took me to Warped Tour, he was in the pit for Terror, and he's some guy like he's in the pit and he's going hard, and some guy like I don't know if it put like in the face, but some guy like punched him somewhere. I think it was the face. Some guy punched him in the face, and my friend crap out of this guy and just like go after him. And he turns around and it's Parker Cannon.
Oh God.
And so my friend who like loves the story so far was like ready to like knock this guy out, and then he's like, dude, and then Parker goes, are you okay? And Ricky goes, yeah, and then they just kind of like high five and like part ways. Go ahead.
That's
Now,
rad.
here's my whole question with the etiquette stuff, because etiquette seems to be like the unwritten law of pop punk shows now, or
Yeah.
or I wouldn't really say hardcore, because that's a whole nother culture and community all in its
Yeah,
own.
that's a whole other thing.
But with pop punk music in its community, when did we start to see these unwritten rules develop? Like, when did we start to see that there's a proper way to mosh, or there's a proper way to stage dive? Because like the whole pop punk scene is a derivative of course, punk.
Yeah.
Which, if you paint it back to like, you know, let's say early garage band shows, house shows, basement shows, there isn't much of a complete etiquette to go along with that.
Well, I would bet that it has something to do with the divide between, and I don't know exactly when this happened. I can only really speak from personal experience from like 2000 on, but I do know that there was a clear divide around the early to mid 80s where if you were punk, that's when punk and hardcore kind of mixed. If you were either for anarchy and chaos or you were for some kind of autonomy and political justice. And so it really became more like, it reminded me of like the two parts of the hippie movement back in the 60s and early 70s, where it was the love movement, let's just smoke weed and make songs and be happy with each other and bone each other all day, and the peace movement, which was we're going to protest in the streets. One of them was for a lifestyle, the other was for, one was, like with punk, one was a subculture in which they just wanted to do their own thing, which was the anarchists, the ones who just wanted to punch each other and just go get drunk and go apeshit. And then on the other hand, you had the counterculture, the political punks who wanted to go in and change the overall culture. And I think that what ended up happening, especially in recent decades, a lot, and I know we've talked about this on the podcast before, the changing of punk after 9/11 becoming extremely popular, political punk and political punk culture kind of took over the entire punk scene. And so it became more about a code of ethics and morals and changing the world for the better. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was around the time where it was, hey, we're at this concert, but it's bigger than music, it's bigger than us, it's about a movement, about changing the world. So let's try to do this thing we all love in a way that we're respecting each other and we're Yeah, that's my take on it based on the limited information that I have.
Yeah, I agree. I think that people started becoming more, I think show etiquette started becoming a thing when people started becoming more socially aware. Um, I mean, yeah, Eric pretty much said it all. I had like another thought that I totally forgot.
That's okay. You had when you said all the stuff earlier about Joyce Manor, I was like, ah, shit, that's what I wanted to say.
Yeah, I feel this shit has been taken so far out of like, it's people are making a mountain out of a molehill. It's not gonna fucking kill you to not stage dive for
It's because it
half
was
an
on
hour.
video. Let's be honest.
Exactly.
And that's where it kind of, for the kids, like in Lincoln's case, when he was saying that when kids used to, back in my day, we used to X, Y, and Z, saying that, like, oh, don't do this at a punk show, at a maybe, like, let's say like 8 years ago, would be unheard of. If you were at a small club and you were playing for, kids, and it really wouldn't matter about the demographic. And I mean, demographic does have a lot to do with it, as we were saying before, with like all the Tumblr kids now getting involved with the pop punk scene. It's now, I think that it's definitely softening it up to have kids say like, oh, now we have to do this because there's a larger voice not wanting it to happen. Like let's take the story so far. I honestly don't remember anybody ever jumping on stage and giving a lead singer a high five. I mean, not a high five, like
What
a
about a
kiss,
kiss?
or like or hanging
Oh,
on
yeah,
onto
yeah, I
them
remember,
until
yeah.
the most recent, like Tumblr growth. And
Yeah.
now these girls are just like, Parker, let me, and now we're saying like, hey guys, we need to not do that. That was just that you just don't fucking do it because you just don't. Like, it wasn't ever a problem until
Well, that wasn't like a
recently,
crowd thing. That was
Story
like a
So Far.
personal space thing.
Oh yeah, it was
That-
personal
that's-
space thing, but like
I
that was
also-
definitely because of like the whole romanticizing of lead
Yeah.
singers and stuff like that.
That's
That
so
wasn't really an
interesting.
issue before, like the whole Tumblr core
Well,
thing, 'cause
so
we all know
that's
that.
really funny because
Yeah.
when I used to, this is a perfect example. Lots of bands did this, but when the first maybe 8 times I saw a band called Against Me, I saw them at like
I
I
love
guess it would
them.
have been 2003, 4, 5, 6, like as many
Stop! I've
times,
never
and, like,
seen them and I love them.
Oh no, it's like I always tell people, like I've told people for over 11, 12 years, like that's the band to go see. Go see that band before you die. That band's amazing. But like they used to have crowds who, it didn't matter what venue they were playing, people would jump on stage and grab mics and start singing. Like the band would just, somebody who knocked in you just like, yeah, whatever, it's a big party. And that's awesome. But I think part of it's personal space. I guess if you're getting kissed, that's also a big part of it, as that getting kissed as opposed to having someone sing into your mic. But I also have seen a lot of bands recently who get really pissed if a fan accidentally bumps into them on stage or yells into a mic, because it's at some point bands got professional and bands started sounding really good. A lot of the bands I really love have sounded like dog butts on stage for years. You look at any, like, take NoFX for example, any old NoFX live show, they sound atrocious, but it doesn't fucking matter because it's amazing.
Because it's a party.
Yeah, but at some point, bands were, and I kind of support this, especially now that I'm not, like, if it's a band I've seen 15 times, now I kind of want to see you play tight. I want to see how good you are.
Oh,
But,
Dad, look at you.
I know.
God
This
damn, we
started a
lost
couple years ago.
Eric. Oh, fuck.
But if it's a band I haven't seen before, or Streetlight Manifesto, I'll just go ape shit anyway.
I think it also comes down to punk is now a lot more accessible than it was 10, 20 years ago. You know, it like me and Ashley. Well, I mean, I'm kind of weird, but anyway, Ashley, like we're girls in the scene, and it really was pretty much unheard of back when Black Flag was a thing. That was like,
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
they're
Black-
there, but
Yeah. By the way,
there's
Black
like
Flag,
one.
Black Flag's at 30 years ago, by the way.
Oh
10
yeah.
years ago was fine.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Maybe 20 is a little even. It's all cyclical.
All right, Dad.
Yeah.
Anyway. And that was a history lesson from Eric.
Yeah, it's all cyclical.
I think also just like personally, like I'd never really gone to any show. Sorry, God, I really hope I'm not getting sick. Knock on wood.
Probably allergies.
Well, it's starting to
Probably
get cold
Ebola.
here, so like, yes, I had Ebola.
Shout out to Zach again.
That's awful.
I'd never really gone to a show where like there wasn't any type of etiquette. Like I remember like the very first like actual floor like mosh pit worthy shows. It was like you put your hand out and you stand back, and if someone's like just be aware that people are there's gonna be limbs flying everywhere, and just kind of like be okay with it. But another thing that like I just started thinking about is I talked about doing my first stage dive in 2011 to fireworks, which was a very proud moment of my life. Felt very pop punk.
Actually, now I'm thinking about it. That was during the
Gospel.
the Femme Pop Punk tour, wasn't it?
That was well, fireworks was with Polar Bear Club and Such Gold, but that same fall was what was it? It was Pop Punk's Not Dead tour.
Yep.
But
And now we've come full circle.
But the thing is,
that
I'm
was actually
gonna.
one of my first shows that I went to. Anyway,
But I'm like going back to that because I did the stage dive there, and like the venue, which I loved. Like I've been to like venues that were just a floor, or no mosh venues that had a raised stage. But I've never been to a venue that had the raised stage and no barricade, like a stage dive appropriate venue. So the venue here in Syracuse, or like the most prominent one, I guess, is the Lost Horizon, and they used to not have a barricade. And I remember going to see like 2 or 3 shows my freshman year, and there was no barricade, and like I got up on stage and I felt so cool, and I was like, this is the best venue. Like I thought I was not gonna do any shows here, but now I am. And then so fireworks was sometime in the beginning of October, and the end of October was Pop Punk's Not Dead tour, and I was so excited. And I get there, and there's a barricade set up, and I was like,
Ooh.
all my pop punk dreams are crushed. No.
A barricade is literally a pop punk's kid's worst nightmare.
Well, because I was like, I'm gonna stage dive during the Wonder Years, and nothing will ever top that in my life. And like Newfound Glory covered Green Day, and like I was there with a boy I was sort of with at the time, and I thought it was like gonna be the best night of my life, and it was still really fun. But I just thought that was weird. But also the thing is, the barricade is like permanent now. Like they don't take it down, which sucks. It's like a tiny little floor space, and that barricade takes up half the space. But it's definitely a liability thing too, because I know the venue changed owners recently, and they put up signs that say like no crowd surfing, no stage diving, and people still crowd surf and stuff. But like
At least they do that.
well, like I'm literally talking an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper written in Sharpie that they put up in the middle of the show.
Oh, that's better than the
Oh,
Loft in
wow.
Poughkeepsie.
I've
Fuck
been
the Loft.
Oh god,
I hate
that
it.
place. I really want to like that place, but I've also never heard any one good thing about anyone who books there. Like I was gonna intern for Killer Cool Entertainment in like my freshman year, so like 2012, summer of 2012, and the guy was just, I don't know. I'm not gonna start talking smack because I'm unprofessional, but pleasant, and I'm happy to work
Sort
there.
of, Eric, sort of in the thread that you were saying, well, okay, so they had the barricade and they had the, like, no XYZ. That's cool, that's good. Same week that I was at Asbury Lanes, I found myself in Poughkeepsie seeing Modern Baseball for the 3rd time that
I was
week.
gonna go to that show.
You should have. We could have been friends.
Well, I was so mad. It was like my mom's birthday or something. Like everything in the world conspired against me seeing Modern
Skip it.
Baseball.
She'll have another one next year.
Whoa, my mom
Oh wow.
is the best.
I know. I wouldn't. I know. I would have skipped it too if it. What's it called? Not my mom's birthday, but the show. If it was my mom's birthday that day. Anyway, so okay. So the Loft, no barricade. It's the stage is like thigh height.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect
It's
height for just
small.
perfect height for just climbing right on top. Mm-hmm. And nowhere. So the hotelier played. There were bigger people. It wasn't like 14-year-old girls making up the crowd. Now it was like a mixed group where I could like be like, I can jump anywhere, and I know that people will catch me, and they'll be comfortable catching me. So hotelier's playing. They have like 30 seconds left. They're going really hard, and I'm like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it. So I stage dive, and they ended their set. I stage dived like in the last 10 seconds because it's hard getting up because everybody's like, no, get the hell out. I'm not going to move for you. So anyway, so I stage dive, and I get down, and then a guard comes up to me, grabs me by the shirt, and is like, "Hey, if you do that again, I'm fucking kicking you out." And I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know I couldn't do that. There's no barricade, so I just assumed it was cool." And then after that, I looked around. Nowhere did they say that it wasn't allowed. So I was like, "How is anybody supposed to know that you're not cool with this
That's such
if
bullshit.
you don't?" Yeah, nowhere is it. Not by the food, not on the stage, not on the stage floor, not on the ceiling or anywhere. And I was like, if you want people to not do this, you have to make it known. And
But I mean, like, it goes against, at least from what I think, pop punk culture. Let's take a look at like the biggest forefathers, at least of this new wave of the whole
The
like,
suppy pop punk.
the suppy pop punk.
Suppy
Literally,
brat.
Man Overboard. Their whole key campaign was defend pop punk.
That started as a joke, though.
And it did start as a joke.
And, like,
But
a
they
rip-off,
ended
like,
up,
another band's
that
logo
ended
or
up
something.
being
Yep.
like their whole shtick. And every show that I had gone to, it was get the fuck up here. Let's go. Let's crowd surf. Let's stage dive everywhere. And I remember like one of the biggest things that happened was during the Man Overboard holiday show in Philly at the TLA. They announced we're not having a barrier, and this was like at the peak of their whole defend pop punk. Like you couldn't go one to Tumblr post without seeing I'm not sad anymore. I'm just tired of defending pop punk. And it was, and so it was widespread, which was great. It was fantastic. We all loved it. Everyone else loved it. So they're still saying like, "Yo, we have no barricade. You're fucking jumping. You're fucking getting up here." I think I remember one year at Camden Warped Tour, they were like, "Yo, make them do their job. Get the fuck up here." Like the second they got on stage, and like, I grew up within like I first got into pop punk through the defend pop punk movement. So I was pretty much taught, stage dive, go nuts. And like one of the like if I could get any stupid quote like on my fucking body, don't want to get hit, get out of the pit. and it makes sense though, because like if you're looking at punk like way back in the day, like it happened. If you're looking at punk through the pop punk revival, I guess you could say, with like Blink-182 and shows like that, there were still kids like crowd surfing. I honestly don't know like the history of Blink-182 to know whether
they were Blink-182 had come out now. Their fan base is that, as you guys put it, like the Real Friends Tumblr girl fan base. It was like
they would be the ones to start crying if someone had jumped on them.
Well, they didn't give a fuck. They were nuts. But like I loved them so much, but you couldn't go around anywhere saying, "Oh, I like Blink-182." They're like, "The fuck is wrong with you?" Like it's so
yeah. I mean, like Blink as a band. Yeah, Blink as a band, you could have easily have just been able to do it. But I mean, as far as crowds, and I think that's where the rules had changed, was just because of the crowd base.
Yep, I think a lot of pop punk. At some point, it diverged from punk. Like I would say, probably late '80s, early '90s. Just from the band you're wearing on your shirt, Descendants is a good example of one of the first bands that, like, if you listen to the Descendants, they sound like a straight up punk band. But at the time, they were one of the poppiest of the punk bands. And obviously, pop punk getting huge. It wasn't even called pop punk at the time by Green Day. Pop punk was what punks called Green Day, because Green Day was a punk band that everyone thought was too poppy. And that being so big ended up really changing things, and so you end up getting these punk mentalities that got watered down over the next 10 years or so. And it wasn't until 4 or 5 years ago where pop punk bands were being formed by kids who grew up listening to straight up punk. And so when I jumped into this pop punk culture, because I'd always loved pop punk but never really was part of the culture of it, like the whole defend pop punk thing.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't until like 2000 and late 2011, early 2012, and so it was confusing to me why people were bragging about how pop punk they were, because to me punk always had a culture. Pop punk was just a musical genre, so it was very culture shock to me, and it took me a while to get used to it. But I think a lot of the punk values got transferred over into pop punk, and that's why you have this clash now of pop punk is full of bands that are influenced by punk bands, pop bands, indie bands. I think Joyce Manor is hugely influenced by a lot of early 2000s indie rock.
Oh, yeah.
Indie rock was everyone, let's just sway here, guys, just sway, just sway, just Sway, guy, take it down, just sway. This is the sad song. No dancing.
I can't find my. Here we go.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, mine's over there. Damn it.
Is that a gluten-free organic lighter? Because at our concerts, that's my direct impression.
It says, I think it's biographically enhanced carbon.
That'll burn the ozone layer.
Did you say biographically enhanced?
I was
wrote
looking
about
for,
it, and it works really well.
I feel so ignorant. I totally forgot the word.
I remember, going back to like how I think Eric made a really good point in that the kids,
I'm listening.
they're not even. Let me just stroke your ego a little more, Eric. Okay. Going back to the point where like kids or not even kids, but like people who are in bands like Real Friends, Story So Far, I guess Man Overboard and Transit, and kind of like that whole movement, like, because Parker Cannon's like 21, like he's young, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll look it up.
Well, like they like
Get on it, Eric.
the whole like fact that bands are now being branded as Tumblr bands, like Joyce Manor and Basement and Citizen, like it's not that they're saying like their music has to be the specific way. It's just kind of like their band as a brand and their band as an image are very Tumblr.
The bands are getting smarter.
Mm-hmm.
Well, which is so smart, and that's the thing. Like I remember, like 2011, like the height of Defend Pop Punk, and like it was just like exploding. It was crazy, and like I remember like listening to the Upsides first time and like reblogging pictures of Hank the Pigeon for like ever. But you would see like all these like the typical pop punk T-shirt on the back has the picture of someone like crowd surfing and like intense lyrics. Varsity fought. I didn't remember fought.
Crowd shots.
Yeah, like I have one or two of those shirts. Like I'm not sorry about it, but also I think
Fucking apology.
it's just a whole new
Damn it!
mentality of people.
Nice.
I'm like, I'm not gonna do it.
I missed it. I missed it.
Fucking
Sorry. I missed a golden opportunity and Corey took it.
Offend pop punk.
I like
the best part is I
pop
like
punk.
I like.
It's
I
just
don't.
like a whole
I hardly
different
even
mentality,
like it
and like people are just doing. Not that they're doing things their own way, but no, I think it's just a whole different wave of kids, and the fact that that's how bands are becoming popular is through like moshing gifs and I saw this really cool photo edit on Tumblr of this band, like now I'll check it out. And it's not like you go there because you want to watch people throw down in the pit. It's like, I've seen this band's name a lot on Tumblr, so I guess I'll check them out. So I think it's a whole different, obviously, curation of music discovery, and
that's really cool. You put it that way about it's not necessarily about I saw the GIF and so I wanted to go whatever. I saw their name a bunch of times, so I'm interested.
That's so important, though. Oh my god!
That's how I heard about Joyce Manor. Actually, I was like, they've shown up a bunch of times.
But like, that's the thing is,
yeah.
Who was I talking about this with? I was talking about it with somebody, but like when I bring on a band to do showcase feature, obviously like I'm stoked. Like I don't bring on anybody who's like terrible. Like I bless you. I saw it happen. I don't bring on anybody whose music like I personally like can't stand, which is like I'm like unbiased, but like if it's like terrible, like I'm not putting you on. But if someone's really, really, really good, and I think like wow, like this band's really talented, and I want them to be on POZ again, we have like a bunch of different features that I can incorporate them with, or like this comp I was talking about earlier. Like I've been putting so many other bands on that might not have been able to be on these alternate features, and it's about that repetition. If you see that name enough, like the fact that I've seen in 2011, like the 3 bands on my Tumblr were like Man Overboard, Wonder Years, and Transit. Mm-hmm. Like that's it. Nothing like, and I'm into like, not like into, but I was really into Risecore for a while. It was a dark period of my life. But like I really love the plot in you. Like I think they seem like terrible people, but I really love the music. So, but like I never see that. You don't get that same kind of
repetition. And this bums. I love I love that it was on the off the record podcast, but it bums me out because that podcast has made so many things that I've learned over the years obsolete. In that, like, one of the things that I learned pretty early on, which drove a lot of any successes I've had, has been driven by this, was people don't even bother checking your band out until they've seen your name like 3 to 5 times, which is the premise of how flyers used to work or how stickers used to work. Like, you go to a venue, you see those names. Nowadays, the bathroom wall of a venue or the mall or just like flyers at a coffee shop have been replaced by Tumblr and Facebook and whatever, all those other
But the thing
social
is, that's
medias.
free, and you can go international with. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
well,
like,
that's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
It's
So
better.
it's now
That's
just
why replaced
another platform.
Yeah.
it's just
And so,
transitioning.
but it's cool because it's the same mechanism through time of how people find bands. It's just comes out, it manifests in a different way.
I'm also really a fan of old formats of advertising. I really like stickers.
I love stickers.
Anytime that I've seen my friend's band On Your Marks like a billion times, and every time I see them, I make sure to grab a bunch of stickers and I place them around. I have like a few around in. Yeah, so I like that. I like flyers and everything. I think flyers are really cool.
I love stickers because, well, I mean, obviously, I think my
Sorry,
favorite.
that was the best start to a sentence ever. I love stickers.
I love stickers, and I mean, they just look so cute on my. In your case, my water bottle.
I love this. This is actually, fun fact, this is a Yahoo water bottle, and I got it when I was at Tumblr, and the very first thing I did after I Instagrammed this water bottle is put a Tumblr sticker on it over the logo. So behind one of these, it says Yahoo.
Nice.
That's why it's purple. But the thing I love about, obviously, okay, the top merch is, or top merch. Yeah, no, the top merch is
America's
t-shirts.
Next Top Merch.
Hey!
And TM.
The best form of merch is t-shirts because, first of all, let's like, you're a walking billboard. That's like large real estate, and like you can also like engage with the person. Like if I saw Ollie wearing that Descendants t-shirt, I could be like, oh hey, like you like the Descendants, I like the Descendants, like we should be friends.
Exactly. It's like if you're lost at college and you can't find a friend, you just like wear the pop punk shirt so I can just grab a pizza with someone.
Well, like the very first day of this semester, the new freshman in my major, which is like a music industry major.
Same.
One of the freshmen shows up and he's wearing, God, what was he wearing? He's wearing a Being as an Ocean t-shirt. And I'm like, that's a cool shirt. And he's like, yeah, it's just this band. Like, no one really knows about them. And I was like, son, let me tell you a thing. Let me tell you, like, we're going to be friends.
Now, see, I love that whole, like, you're able to do that, but it's a little bit harder for me to do that because I'm, like, black and 6 foot, so no one's expecting me to, like, any of the bands. Like, I think I saw, while I was working at Macy's, so I had, like, no pop punk gear attire on. I was helping this one mom, and, like, her daughter was wearing, I think, like, a Bring Me the Horizon shirt. And I'm just like, oh, cool shirt. And she's just like, thanks.
Well, I also remember in high school I was wearing...
Like, no, I like band. It's okay. I'm sorry. I don't mean to...
I was wearing a 4 Year Strong shirt, and it's like the baseball t-shirt, and it looks like the Van Halen logo. And it's, like, very clearly, like, a spin-off of that. And I was talking to a girl, like, someone I didn't know, and she goes, oh, I like your shirt. And I'm like, oh, my God, like, do you like 4 Year Strong? Have you listened to this album? Like, fully expecting, like, she knew who this band was. And but she's like one of those people who like goes to Urban Outfitters and buys the Ramones t-shirt that's like been distressed and bleached and torn and tied up with like little bitty strings, and they sell it for $65.
Yeah.
I felt really bad because I was like, oh, like, do you like this band? Just like, I don't know, I'll go look them up on YouTube. And I'm like, oh, okay.
You
gotta love it.
A few weeks ago, I went to a bachelor party. Trust me, this will all come around.
I'm sure it will.
Yes, and I knew that it was a bachelor party with my friend who's getting married. It's his fantasy football league. He invited us all up to Atlantic City, the Dirty Jers, and so when we get there, I knew next day I was going to be partnered to determine our pick in the fantasy draft by a cornhole tournament, the sandbag game, and so I was like, my partner better, because I didn't meet him, before I better be good at this shit. So I walk in, and I see him, and he's playing beer pong, and he's got a purple like polo shirt on with a collar popped, and he's got like the upside down visor, the necklace, and like the
People still dress like that?
Sperry's, the lime green like shorts. And I was like, this dude can play some fucking cornhole. He looked like every villain from an '80s movie. Or like an '80s teen movie. It was fucking amazing. The singer of my band asked him how training's going at the Cobra Kai dojo, so anyway, so at some point in the weekend we're talking, and he asked about my band. And I told him, and I was being very vague. It's like, we're like a pop punk rock group, because I figure, I knew he listened to country and classic rock. And at one point, I was like, but it's like poppy punk stuff. He goes, it's like pop punk. I like pop punk. And I was like, oh, cool. I was like, and I started kind of defining everything in Blink and Fall Out Boy and Green Day terms. And he was like, yeah, but those are kind of like bigger bands. And I was like, wait a minute. And I was like, do you know who, Wonder Years are? He goes, I've seen them 4 times. I was like, what the fuck? And he knew everything. He knew modern pop punk better than I did. This like total bro who like blew my mind with that shit.
I love when that happens like so much. Like I'm not someone who dresses punk, I guess. Like I mean I totally want to. I think I'd own it, but I'm just like I'm wearing like a blue V-neck and like shorts. Like I buy clothes from Target. Like I'm just very, very average.
My wife buys my clothes from Target.
Target's the shit. So I just love when people ask about music and stuff, especially like I remember like freshman year of high school, they like pair you're in a group and you have like a senior advisor to kind of like learn about high school and whatever. And one of our activities was to bring in a song that like represents you and stuff. And I remember like I brought in like a Paramore song, but I remember being like the music I listen to like will legitimately scare some of you, and I'm not trying to like offend anybody, but it would like actually terrify some of you. And I remember playing like my grandma asked what kind of music I listened to, and I was like, Grandma, this isn't gonna happen right now. And I played her like very softly. I played her like a Bring Me to the Horizon song, and she's like, how can you hear any of that? Like, what is this? Like, I don't understand. And then like I was like, okay, she's a grandma, like whatever. And then like the other day I was driving my friend to Target, one of my classmates, and he's really into like rap, hip hop, EDM, like super chill. He's just the nicest guy. I love him. And like I have like a driving playlist. Like I don't know if anybody else does this, but it's like songs like I specifically want to hear when I'm in the car.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because I don't want to listen to like a shitty song and then like I'm driving, so I can't change it. I don't know.
Really?
So,
I just change it.
Well, like I have my phone like in the cup holder.
I'm just
I'm glad that we have individuals like you on the road. It's just like
it's like a playlist for when you're driving.
Yes, that's exactly. It's like my driving playlist. I had a driving playlist.
It's literally your driving playlist.
Hang on, I will show you.
It is figuratively my driving playlist.
It's figuratively my...
It is quite literally my driving playlist.
Actually, he's literally correct. This is a miracle.
Well, first of all, fuck you, Eric.
Not just you.
Damn.
I meant everyone in the world. Someone used it. I should clarify.
Wait, okay. Let's see. I might need to turn the brightness up.
Well, after we showcase this, I think we're going to wrap up with a final question that I have for all of
There
you.
it is.
So. Oh, there we go.
But like the
Only
first song on it
42.
is what? Cora. Chill, girl.
Ashnik is just getting like the blunt of everything.
I am the Meg of Babe Talk.
It's not personal.
Can I just tell my fucking
cannot.
story for a second? It's really short. So I'm in the car with my friend.
He's the nicest Phyllis,
They're
right?
still going. They're still going.
God damn it, guys. I'm in the car, and the first song on the playlist is Body Bag by Beartooth, which, like, I love their album so much. Like, cannot even express how much I love this album. And I just put it on, like, kind of absentmindedly. I'm not the kind of person who's like, oh, like, you can put on your music. No, our driver's a DJ.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, very important. So I put the song on, and he's like, this is so, like, why do you listen to this? Like, how can you listen to this? And he's like, "Why can't I can't even understand what they're saying?" And I'm, oh my god, like, you literally sound like every person in the world I've ever dealt with since, like, 6th grade when I got my first Green Day CD. Like,
Oh, God, you
just
fucking
stop. And he was
plebe.
like, it was just like, he's like, how can you listen to this? And I was like, because it's really important to me. Like, it's great music. It gets me hyped up. Like, I'm gonna stop talking now.
No, I was just finally. It's really important to me, and like I needed. I wasn't gonna say anything. You brought it to my attention. I was just gonna
Screen grab.
laugh. Don't tell me niggas not allowed to laugh.
Hey,
Anyway,
she turned it up so loud it lagged.
And she literally had caused the microphone to go up. So anyway, we've talked about a good amount that I wanted to bring out for here. We'll get final thoughts on it. So, is it a good thing that Joyce Manor had pulled out their hey guys, stop it, regardless of how he went about doing it? Was it good for him to bring it out? We'll start Ash. Final thoughts.
Okay. The whole, like, people have been asking me about this since it happened, and it's just hard because I'm really not torn. I don't want to say torn because I don't feel like I'm leaning one way or the other, like, really, really drastically, but there's a lot of different angles you can take to approach this. I think the main thing is he's allowed to have an opinion. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. That's why it's an opinion, because it's yours. But I think that it could have been handled better, and maybe it was just something that caused him to snap, and he said, I have to say this right now in front of everybody, like, this guy's going to be Meg for a second, and he's just going to get all the shit that's coming out. I think it could have been handled better. I think just saying, like Cora was talking about the hotelier, right? And they were like, can you guys, or who was it? Someone was like, basement.
It was the hotelier.
Yeah.
Both are relevant to this point where it's like, hey, like, this is so awesome, you guys are getting into it, but just, like, be more aware of it. So, entitled to his opinion, could have been handled better, but now the whole internet is just up in arms about it. So either way, their name is everywhere right now, and people going to their shows are like, it's a big deal to go to their shows now, because you're like, oh my god, someone's going to crowd kill, this is going to be great.
Just full on crowd kill now.
Patriotic, straight edge pieces of shit. That is my piece.
Eric, what's your take on it?
I think if that's the environment that he and his band want to set for their shows, then that's perfectly acceptable.
Yeah, it's pretty reasonable.
And you just have to deal with any backlash that comes from it. Personally, I don't think that he would have said anything unless the vast majority of his fans at one point or another, at least the ones who were vocal about it, have spoken out against having to deal with that at shows. Like, that would be my guess. So I feel like he probably made a smart, is on a theoretical level. If that's you're in a band, you set the environment you want your shows to be. That's what you do, and deal with it if there's consequences.
Cora, your final thought on the subject.
Okay, so I mean, I know exactly where I stand on it. So I know that I've been pretty strong opinions on it via the internet. Like, people are like, oh man, blah, they're whining and bitching about it. I'm like, shut the fuck up. It's not going to kill you to not crowd surf or stage dive for half an hour. Because, I mean, like, they have 3 albums, each are 20 minutes long. How much are they really going to play? So, like, seriously, shut the fuck up. It's not going to kill you to not stage dive for a little while.
True life. I'm addicted to stage diving.
I don't get me wrong. I fucking love it. I love stage diving. I love crowd surfing. I get rowdy as all hell when I get into it. However,
you get rowdy?
Yeah, I get rowdy. Yeah.
About it. Rowdy.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess you could say, like, oh, you're contradicting yourself, but no. I mean, like, I like to have fun and I like to get wild. I know what I'm getting myself into, but some people just, whether they know it or not, are just not prepared for it, aka, you know, you're really short girls who can't see the stage from anywhere else but the front, and they keep getting kicked in the face and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So, it's entirely within their right, and it's really reasonable of them to be like, hey, don't do that. Although, I do agree, it could have been handled better the first time. But then like the second time where Barry called him a straight edge piece of shit, that they like that kid
I
bragged
bet
on
there's some
Twitter.
misplaced
I
anger
wonder
there.
if he knows he's started a movement by that. Like, have you guys seen the shirts from this war? They're
Yeah.
like,
I
Yeah,
haven't.
this is
Are
hardcore.
they actually
man.
going to sell them? I'm going to hope that they're going to go and sell them because they
they
claim that
look
they're
like
wearing it.
really terribly designed shirts in like the 2 seconds
Oh,
that I got
yeah.
to look at them. But I think
Very
it's like
poorly designed.
they're capitalizing on it. You know,
They should
I
make
think
forks that say
Oh, you should always- you
patriotic
should
straight
always
edge
capitalize
piece of
on
shit.
everything.
Forks.
here's the thing: people
Just like
can't
the
get
world
mad about
is.
them selling forks if people are buying them. Okay, like if you're selling a plastic fork for $4.20, like
That's
high
great.
profit margin, much like.
That honestly, I am pretty tempted to buy one of those forks.
That sounds about right.
The world is a beautiful place, and I'm no longer afraid to die.
I have my fork.
Alright.
I'm ready.
Yeah,
I'm
thanks,
a
fork.
I am no longer hungry. Lincoln, what is your final thought on it?
My final thought's probably invalid because I'm a 6 foot to ever stage dive, but I feel that every band has their own right to kind of set their grounds of how they want their fans to act at a show. I think Joyce Manor had the complete and utter right to say, hey, we don't dig this, be safe, whatever, and do it. However, I do think that Barry let it get to him a little bit too much and reacted improperly in the way he did weight shame that one guy on stage, and then with the kind of rude insult he gave the guy as well. I think those were improper ways to go about trying to make his point. But everybody has their right to set their own thing. I mean, Joyce Manor, they don't want stage diving, cool. Hotelier doesn't want stage diving, cool. You got other bands like Forever Came Calling, whose new album, in their songs, they wrote specific parts that are set for stage diving and set and going all out. Like, they left breaks in their song in the new album for it. Everybody's got their own right to do it. Just be cool about it.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have all seen it, but the kid that Barry was fighting with, oh, you fat piece of shit, straight edge,
Yeah,
patriotic,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
He tweeted, he was like, "I'm gonna go to the show and I'm gonna give them a constant headache. You feel me?" Like
Yeah,
he knew,
Well, okay,
he knew
was an
full
asshole.
well he was baiting
Yeah.
Joyce Manor,
and so it with
that's
that
a
being
shitty
the
thing to do.
case,
True.
Well, here's my two cents to kind of pull everything together. We're end the show because we're gonna end after this. I don't think that you could ever really tell your audience how to act, only because I've always known to like when you go to a show, you do it. You just if I get kicked in the back, man up. That fucking happened. You go to a show. It's a liability. It's part of the culture. It's gonna happen. You stage dive. You crowd surf.
Don't want to get hit,
It's,
stay out of
it's
the
all gonna
pit.
happen. You don't want to get hit. Stay out of the pit. And so like especially for like a band to kind of like go behind and say like, oh, we don't want you to do it. It's like, well,
I like how they're Terrence and
Shut the
Phillip
fuck
all
up.
of a sudden. Hey, guys, don't do that. Don't say that, man.
Hey, I'm not your
don't
guy,
do it.
man.
Don't go and stage dive. I mean,
Patriotic
like,
piece of shit, boy.
they are. I guess they are allowed to go and like say, hey, we would not like it to happen. But to go to the extent to literally call a kid like if it was like the point I made before, if anyone were to grab my leg and bring me onto stage, I hope that you are ready for me to punch him in the face.
That's fair.
And then if you want to go and then call me a piece of shit after you call me back on stage, and then I hope you're ready for everybody to watch you get shit beat out of you. But that shit just me.
That's a perfect way to end the show.
Yeah,
Ollie.
right.
I will beat the shit out of you. But no, it was more the fact that he literally had grabbed the kid back onto stage. If the kid had crowd surfed and then went into the crowd, you reprimand the kid and then it's over. Whatever, it's still shitty. But like if he's literally grabbed me back on his stage,
I didn't know
like
he did that.
I told you guys about
Watch
the
the
kid, like,
video.
2
He
weeks
like
ago.
yanks the
That's
kid
how it-
back.
Yeah, he
That's
yanks
how a
him
fight
back.
starts. Like that's how
Exactly.
you start a fight.
And like you remember when I was talking about like either last week or 2 weeks ago when I accidentally had kicked the one girl in the face because her shitty boyfriend had. Wait, did I tell that story? I was at
Yeah, you
basement.
It was
jumped off-
last
okay,
week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was one of the weeks some kid like grabbed my foot and I almost beat the shit out of him. don't touch me. Like, I understand.
Oh, so
Don't
what-
touch me, bro. My personal square.
Personal
my personal square, and that's a little contradictory from what I'm saying that I'm allowed
Personal
to jump
pit
onto
space.
other kids.
No, but you're very right about that. I mean, you can't expect to control an entire room every time. Like, when I said my piece, it was really me being idealistic. But it's not realistic. Like
It's the
Yeah.
group mentality. You can't beat it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go
you
ahead.
can.
You can try.
It's well within their right to respectfully ask them to not do it, and then if they insist on doing it, then they're just shitty. There's really nothing you can do apart from get a barricade for next time.
Or hey, real quick,
There you go.
Yeah.
There you
go for it. Yeah.
Oh, Eric, no, I'm sorry. We both got excited at the same time.
I was just say, or do what anybody else has ever done is just say, "Hey, security, get that guy out of here."
Hey, security, get this guy out of here and get a barricade. That's
Yeah.
all you have
That would
to
solve
do.
all of their problems. That would alleviate the constant headache.
Now, okay,
Good
one
night.
anecdote. No, one last anecdote. Did we see the tweet that became Defend Pop Punk's banner? Like, in a few years, we're going to call somebody out on crowd surfing and stage diving and dive deep into the pussy.
Was that a
Real
retweet?
or no?
Was that no? Hey, look at the character count.
True. Okay.
Oh,
Good night.
Good night.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Food for
That's an
thought.
awful call. So I might be. So next week on Babe Talk,
We find
have
out if the
Gentlemen's
tweet's
Brawl-
real.
Yes, we'll find out if the tweet's real because now I feel like it's either I'm going to be a right asshole or I'm going to be a
Tweetbusters.
wrong tweet busters. Next week we have I don't know how to pronounce this kid's name, and it's probably easy. We have the lead singer from Gentlemen's Brawl coming on to the show, and that's going to be fun. We got me, Cole, we got Alex North, and we got Adri. Adri coming back. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong schedule. It's me, Ashley, Glenn, and Adri is going to come back onto the show. So that's going to be fun as fuck.
That would be good. I'll tune in.
Yeah, y'all better too.
Hey, Ollie,
Yo, hi.
you're a tweet detective.
Good night, everyone.
Night.
Eat my shorts.
Jeez.